Welcome to the Clockwork Lantern Tavern, where the lanterns glow softly, the gears turn gently, and even the quietest mysteries are given time to breathe. Tonight's story begins. The Clockwork Lantern Tavern always sounded as if it were thinking. Pipes ticked softly behind the walls, gears turned with patient rhythm, and lanterns hummed warm amber light against the evening fog. Glint arrived just as the music was tuning. He shook mist from his copper-orange wing membranes, adjusted his detective coat, and climbed onto his usual bar stool, high enough to see the room, low enough to be forgotten. That was when the wizard gnome burst in like an overexcited kettle. Bronze robes shimmered, his tall, pointy hat dipped low over his eyes, correcting itself with suspicious independence. "Attention," the gnome declared. "Tonight, I demonstrate refined enchantments." The hat cleared its throat. "Refined," it said dryly. "Is that what we're calling it?" Laughter rippled through the tavern. The gnome ignored it and opened a small brass-bound book. "First charm, enhanced lantern light." "Page 3, the hat muttered. He flipped pages. "Other way up." More laughter. The gnome spoke the spell. Lanterns brightened beautifully, warm and steady. The crowd murmured approval. "Acceptable," the hat admitted. The gnome smiled triumphantly and lifted a kettle for the next spell. "Stop," the hat snapped. The gnome froze. "What now?" "You're about to boil it into regret." Softer consonants. "I am not sharp." "You are sharp enough to slice bread with pride." The goblin at the bar leaned forward eagerly as the gnome tried again, gentler this time. Steam curled neatly upward. The scent that followed was surprisingly lovely. Cinnamon and apple, with something quietly comforting beneath. The goblin blinked. "That's good." The gnome beamed, then bowed dramatically. The kettle tipped. Tea spilled across the bar and onto the floorboards. Glint's teal eyes narrowed. The tea shimmered faintly against the wood, holding a trace of lantern glow. That was not ordinary tea. He hopped down and touched the floorboard. Warmth pulsed under his claw, gentle and attentive. A memory charm. Above him, the gnome argued with his hat. "I told you." "You told yourself," the hat replied, and ignored it. Glint looked up calmly. "Wizard." The gnome startled. "Ah, Detective Glint. Excellent timing." "The tea left a charm on the floor," Glint said. The gnome stiffened. "It did not." "It did," the hat said smugly. Tamsin the bartender crouched beside Glint. "It's holding the light," she murmured. Glint nodded. "Your spell gathered the moment. Laughter, warmth, comfort. The tavern is remembering it." The gnome's pride softened. "I only wanted them to see I could do something good," he admitted quietly. The hat tilted. "You can. When you listen." Silence settled. Not awkward. Just honest. Glint rose. "If the tavern keeps these comforts," he said, "you can guide it. Let it remember warmth on purpose." Tamsin nodded once. "I'd like that." The gnome straightened, voice gentler now. "Friends," he announced, "it appears we've accidentally improved the lantern." Cheers rose. Someone stomped approvingly. The floorboards shimmered again, pleased. Glint climbed back onto his stool as music resumed. Above the fiddle's melody, the gnome and his hat continued their quieter bickering, like old gears learning to turn together. Some mysteries end with a confession. This one ended with tea and a hat that was almost kind. And so the lanterns dimmed, the tea cooled, and the city settled into its patient rhythm once more. If you'd like to return to Gearwing City, there will always be a chair waiting for you. Lanterns lit, stories shared.